Deep in an ethereal headspace, Claire Kagenou flexes her main character lineage while dumping on her younger brother Cid, whom she treats like a background NPC in school hallways beside random classmates, with total annoyance. Smash cut to a luxury restaurant where she stabs a juicy piece of roast beef and enters pure culinary euphoria, raving about the Mitsugoshi food. Cid plays the dutiful beta male brother in a tuxedo, prompting Claire to audit his bank account. When he lies about being homies with the CEO to flex his non-existent savings, he swallows his pride with a fake smile, remembering her annoying head pokes back home. Claire suddenly goes full doom and gloom about her tournament win, muttering about top-tier boss encounters and Shadow's unexpected spawn. Cid ad-libs an over-the-top reaction and fabricates a memory of her cool victory pose, instantly getting pinned to the floor at knife point because it was actually a middle finger, as she frets about his trash-tier academic future. He lies nonchalantly on the floor like a slacker, smirking about his secret identity, leaving her to sigh and pull out a glowing weapon to force recruit him for a high-level raid on the Blood Queen. Cid's inner Chunibyo hyperventilates with joy at the vampire trope. Under a glowing full moon, she marches him through town explaining her spell sword anti-vampire score, leading Cid to question basic undead lore before she clarifies that Lawless Town is the server's last Wild West zone under the shadow of the Crimson Tower. She insists this side quest will boost his knight resume, promising complete protection with a squad leader smirk. Cid detects aggro and sniffs blood in the air, sending Claire into high alert panic as she dashes down a dark alley and draws her weapon on a shadow. A blonde figure turns as a blood-soaked ghoul mob wobbles out and leaps. Claire shoves Cid back and executes a horizontal slash that paints the walls with gore, gasping in shock as the thrall's clothes shred from the DPS. Cid, committed to the ultimate NPC roleplay, drops a world-class, sweat-drenched scream while the pale creep recoils. Claire drops into a defensive stance, yelling at the shadows to step away from her brother, and while she frets over his safety, Cid stutters his line while mentally scoring his S-tier mob performance. They stand over the lootless corpse as Cid asks if it was alone, prompting Claire to explain ghoul lore while pitying the young victim. She laments human corruption and worries about turning into a monster herself, but when Cid tries a snappy mob insult, she violently pummels him into the pavement. Recovering her melancholy tone, she whispers rumors about Princess Rose's corruption and her own childhood curse, recalling black blemishes taking over her body and inspecting her hand nervously. Cid keeps a poker face, remembering he already cured that debuff years ago, and offers a calm reassurance while dripping blood. She instantly flips her mood with a bright grin, leaving Cid staring in dazed disbelief. Calling for night backup, they walk out as Cid looks at the sky and notes the ominous red moon. Meanwhile, high up on an opulent palace balcony at night, Cid's hyper-loyal Lieutenant Beta stands at attention in full gear, notebook in hand, to deliver her status report on their global faction expansion. While she rambles on about new member training, Cid stands dramatically with his back turned, sipping wine like a final boss. Instead of listening to world lore, his galaxy brain internal monologue is completely fixated on his impending poverty and how he's going to fund his Chunibyo lifestyle. He realizes that tagging along to the Lawless Town isn't a chore, it's a gold mine. Popping a villainous smirk at the thought of grinding bandit camps for easy loot. Sensing his sudden shift in vibe, Beta asks if everything is okay, to which Cid turns on the maximum edgelord filter, announcing that a storm of blood is coming. Before taking a slow sip, Beta looks utterly lost, so Cid hitches up the dramatic flair and commands her to gaze upon the moon. Beta looks up, noticing the lunar tint is slightly off as the wind blows, when suddenly, her brain rewires this mundane line into absolute gospel. Gasping if this is the apocalyptic red moon of ancient lore, she immediately loses her mind, apologizing for her incompetence and begging to send the entire Shadow Garden Guild as backup. Cid waves her off with total indifference, stating he'll solo the event himself. When Beta stammers that invading the Crimson Tower without a full raid party is suicidal, Cid hits her with an icy main character glare that radiates pure intimidation, asking if she dares defy him. Beta practically vibrates in terror, backing down instantly and apologizing. Cid casually lowers his glass, which glints in the moonlight, chuckling that a slightly red moon isn't a big deal anyway. He holds his glass out over the balcony against the blood-red sky, dropping a cringe poetry line asking if the crimson night isn't beautiful. Beta's eyes turn into literal star emojis as she starts furiously scribbling down his every word, convinced he's an all-knowing god who casually bends ancient prophecies to his whim. Cid glances back, internally cheering her on for buying into his nonsensical improv and adding "of legend" to his personal cringe lexicon. Right in the filthy, dilapidated gut of Lawless Town, a four-man party led by discount glasses hero Goldo treks through the slums, while Meat Shield Quentin complains about the toxic environmental biohazards. And Goldo warns everyone to stay on high alert. The massive Crimson Tower looms directly ahead as wind whistles through the spire, prompting Goldo to name-drop the vampire boss lair. Goldo flexes over the raid architecture, while Quentin snorts that size doesn't matter, strutting up to the metal gates to claim first clear rights until he spots a cross-legged NPC blocking the zone entrance. Draped in heavy chains, the gatekeeper warns that only high-level players are allowed, prompting Quentin to deliver an arrogant villain speech about taking the Blood Queen's head. The guard chuckles mockingly and hits them with a malevolent smirk, threatening to break them. Quentin gasps as the guard unhoods his bandaged, broken frame to reveal he's the former White Demon, now demoted to a level 1 gatekeeper. Quentin erupts into trash talk, boasting his tournament resume alongside Goldo, while Goldo's spider senses scream that they're hopelessly outleveled. Goldo sweats in pure terror at the guard's hidden stats, while Quentin keeps trash-talking the one-handed veteran and raises his tower shield. Boom! An invisible Frame 1 attack slaps Quentin across the jaw, leaving Goldo screaming his name as the tank hits the dirt. The guard reassures him the meat shield isn't dead, sending Goldo into a rage as he recognizes the legend and debates fleeing before choosing friendship. Triggering a lightning-fast tavern flashback of their shared defeats, Goldo screams in vengeance and channels his ultimate ability, the Golden Dragon Sword. With Quentin's voice echoing in his head praising his untapped potential, Goldo rushes the guard as golden energy blazes. The guard smirks without flinching, and as Quentin's inner memory begs him to stand his ground, Goldo leaps into a desperate high-velocity dive strike. The guard ignores the incoming attack, letting Goldo fly right past him into the alley as he mutters about being a lazy dog and smirks sinisterly. Suddenly, local mob trash step out of the shadows with clubs and pitchforks, leaving Goldo to crash land with a pathetic squeak directly into an ambush. Goldo realizes the brutal reality of the PvP zone as the narrator confirms Lawless Town is the ultimate trash heap of the world.
The video ends here, but the story isn't over yet. Like the video if you're ready for the next part.